Hey everyone, Greg from My Mortgage here. Wanting to just chat about getting your low equity margin removed. You've obviously bought a property previously, and with less than a 20% deposit, so lending over 80% of the value of the property. And what the banks do there is they add a margin on top of the interest rates. It's basically their way of charging you for the privilege of borrowing more than the 80% of the value of the property. And at some point, though, obviously you're going to have your borrowing is going to be less than 80%. And so how do we get that removed? So there's a few ways that can happen. So at any point during your lending, during that loan term, we can ask the bank basically. So if you think that your property has gone up in value, or you think you've paid down enough of your loan, then we can go to the bank and say, hey, look, we think we've now got our lending below 80%, so we need that low equity margin removed. Now, the bank will do one of two things. They'll look at their banking system, their valuation system, and they'll say, yep, we agree, the house value is now worth this, and so we can get that removed for you. Easy. They may want us to get what's called a desktop valuation, which is we just go through a system, pull that down for you and submit that through to them as well. In a worst case scenario, they may want a registered valuation. So that's where a valuer comes to your house, goes through it, checks everything, goes back, checks sales in your area, things like that, and then they come back with a number of what they think it's going to be. Now, there is a cost associated with that. Could be $800 to $1,000. So we obviously want to balance that up and say, hey, look, are we really certain that it's going to value up to what we need it to value, and we can work out those numbers for you. And then also, is the cost of that valuation actually going to be worth it? So for example, over the next 6 months, you're going to pay X amount in interest. If we get the valuation now and are able to drop the interest rates down, then it will be worth this, and it might not actually work out, but we can run those numbers for you. So if you think that you should be getting rid of that low equity margin on your property, then touch base with us. We can go to the bank and get that sorted for you, or at least ask the question. If we need to get one of those options of evaluation done or something like that, then we can run those numbers and figure that out. The banks aren't great at telling you that you've now reached that point where you don't need to pay the low equity margin. So you do need to be a little bit proactive. So touch base with us at My Mortgage, and we can definitely walk you through that process.